Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you had a very lovely week. We are here again on Sunday, and we're going to continue the story about Joseph. Now, last week, we learned that the Pharaoh had two very interesting dreams, and no one could tell him what they meant. But they asked Joseph, and Joseph said he doesn't know either, but the Lord will help him and tell him. So he told Joseph. So Joseph told Pharaoh what the dreams meant. And then Joseph also gave Pharaoh a plan of what he thinks needs to happen because of what will happen because of the dreams. So we're going to continue the story. We're going to listen to God's word, God speaking to us. And we're going to look at book Genesis again. Genesis 41, verses 39 to 57. I'll say it again. Genesis 41, verses 39 to 57, and we will read again from the New International Reader's Version, which can be found on the YouVersion app. Let's listen very carefully, boys and girls. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, God has made all this known to you. No one is as wise and understanding as you are. You will be in charge of my palace. All my people must obey your orders. I will be greater than you only because I'm the one who sits on the throne. So Pharaoh said to Joseph, I'm putting you in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh took from his finger the ring he used to give his official stamp. He put it on Joseph's finger. He dressed him in robes made out of fine linen. He put a gold chain around Joseph's neck. He also had him ride in a chariot. Joseph was now next in command after Pharaoh. People went in front of Joseph and shouted, "Get down on your knees!" By doing all these things, Pharaoh put Joseph in charge of the whole land of Egypt. Then Pharaoh said to Joseph, I am Pharaoh, but unless you give an order, no one will do anything in the whole land of Egypt. Pharaoh gave Joseph the name Zaphenath-Paneah. He gave Joseph a wife. Joseph traveled all over the land of Egypt. Joseph was 30 years old when he began serving Pharaoh, the king of Egypt. He left Pharaoh's palace and traveled all over Egypt. During the 7 years, there was plenty of food. The land produced more than the people needed. Joseph collected all the extra food produced in those 7 years in Egypt. He stored it in the cities. In each city, he stored up the food grown in the fields around it. Joseph stored up huge amounts of grain. There was as much of it as sand by the sea. There was so much grain it couldn't be measured. So Joseph stopped keeping records of it. The 7 years when there was plenty of food in Egypt came to an end. Then the 7 years when there wasn't enough food began. It happened just as Joseph had said it would. There wasn't enough food in any of the other lands, but in the whole land of Egypt, there was food. When all the people of Egypt began to get hungry, they cried out to Pharaoh for food. He told all the Egyptians, "Go to Joseph, do what he tells you." There wasn't enough food anywhere in the country. So Joseph opened the storerooms. He sold grain to the Egyptians because people were very hungry all over Egypt. People from all over the world came to Egypt. They came to buy grain from Joseph. That's because people were very hungry everywhere. So that is what we learned today. Now I want you to start to remember. So the place where Joseph's brothers and his father lived wasn't that far from Egypt. And they also suffered in this time when there wasn't enough food. So now we're beginning to wonder what is going to happen to them. But we'll have to listen next week, because next week will be the last lesson on Joseph's story. And it will be a very interesting ending. So boys and girls, thinking back to the story you just listened to, first question, what did Pharaoh do after Joseph explained his dreams? That's right at the beginning of the story. Second question, this is easy. Did the dreams come true? So did what Joseph explained would happen? Did it happen? And then third question, how did Joseph make sure that there was enough food in the 7 years of drought? Drought means when everything is dry, when there isn't enough food. So think about what did he do? And then you'll see there's a nice coloring picture for you to color in. And that's it for today. And I hope to see all of you next week again when we will hear the ending of the story of Joseph. Very exciting. Okay, well, that's it for today. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.